Yo, what up? What the fuck is going on in the world right now? School shootings, abortion, war, climate change. There's so much occurring right now. And each of us is fighting some kind of battle, right? And I appreciate those of you who are facing yourself and learning how to face other people. And it's interesting that we can get bogged down in the external world so deeply that that becomes the fight we want to make, but our marriage is tanking and our relationship with ourself sucks. And how we're raising our kids is half-assed. So I want to challenge and encourage you to look in the mirror today at how you are showing up. What battle are you fighting out in the world? And are you also, it's fine to fight the battles in the world, and I appreciate those of you who are fighting the battles you believe in, particularly those of you who are fighting the battles that I stand for, because there's some people probably even listening that I completely disagree with. And yet, I think it's so vital to look in the mirror in these times. And I think COVID really pushed things to the surface for a lot of us, and they invited us, not in a pleasant way, to look in the mirror, to say, what in the hell is going on with me? Is this what I want to be doing with my life? Do I have the kind of relationships I want? Is my marriage in a place that I can say yes to? Is my home a safe harbor and a launching pad so that I come home and I feel nourished and rejuvenated and safe? Or is my own home emotionally unsafe, physically unsafe? Or is it desolate and lonely? And do I need actually more people around me? Because left to my own devices, I'll stay stuck in my kind of victimhood or whatever. So I posted something on Facebook and Instagram the other day about the school shootings in Texas, and I just was rocked. When so many of these shootings are happening now, there's over 200 and something now, mass shootings, because that qualify 4 or more people injured qualifies as a mass shooting. And it's double this time last year. Double. So when the kids got gunned down in Texas the other day, part of me just wanted to carry on with my day. And I said, no, I'm going to feel this one. And I just stopped and I went on a walk, and I imagined my daughter, who's in 5th grade, getting gunned down in her classroom. And I imagined what that was like for her classmates hiding behind chairs and freezing, and then dealing with a lifetime of trauma, and then dealing with dead people, dead children, dead teachers. And my heart just broke open, and I began to cry and sob and feel rage, just fucking rage, at what we're doing right now, how we're treating people. So those of you who read my post, shared it or liked it or commented, thank you. And you can still go look at it on my profile or my Instagram. It's a picture of me wearing a hat and just in tears. And why am I even talking about this? Because I'm tired of not talking about it. And, I come at these life tragedies from a relational lens. I'm looking at things through the lens of a relationship, student and teacher, where I see all of these problems, so many of them, as relationship issues. So a lot of people choose to fight the battle around guns and gun control, and I appreciate those of you who are doing that. And Ellen and I donate to gun control. I don't have a problem with guns, but I have a problem with how they're delivered and who gets access, and semi-automatic weapons and all that. That's just fucking nonsense. So when people fight that battle and they completely ignore relationships, like how this shooter was raised. A lot of people say, oh, it's a mental health issue. It's a fucking parenting issue, folks. Mental health issues arise out of parenting issues and how we raise children. And it does start with parents. It starts with you parents, all of us parents who are raising kids. And yeah, you could say parents are doing the best they can with what they have. Yep. And I would say, no, parents are doing the best they can with the values they have. So a lot of parents don't value relationship and attunement and attachment and deep connection and empathy and allowing their children to feel and learning how to actually hold space for your kids' feelings. And because you don't value that, you're creating trauma and a shit show in terms of how this kid is going to grow up. And the most privileged kids are getting fucked up all day long by parents who are looking in the other direction because they value different things. They value achievement. All right, I live in the capital of achievement in this country, Boulder, Colorado, where everybody's hard charging and achieving and pushing, and it's always more, faster, stronger, better. It's never enough. And I'm in that soup, and I have a part of me that likes that. But when we parent kids from that place, it's how many activities can your fucking kid be in? And kids, dude, if you pay attention to children, they're just going along with the big people because they have no fucking choice. The piano lessons, the fucking sports, the constant like activities that are often a reflection of the privileged parent's ego, that's creating its own carnage and trail of tears. And then there's the marginalized and poor families that are, using their phones as childcare because that's all the best they can do. Because fuck, what else are you going to do when you're holding down 3 jobs and being a single parent? So to me, this is all like we're just so challenged right now and so sick as a species around how we treat each other, how we raise children, how we educate children. Our school systems are fucked over and broken, making kids sit in desks all day and listen to bullshit and nonsense. And we can't blame teachers for that. The system sucks. It's way outdated. So yeah, I have a lot of opinions on this. And when my heart breaks for children getting mowed down, knowing that could have been prevented by better parenting or trauma therapy and access to that for this family. And this boy who is probably teased and hazed by other boys who either didn't grow up with a dad or grew up with a dad that beat him or shamed him, and then watching violence all day on TV and video games and everything else, like we can't help but like go, right, this is how people turn out when we neglect the fundamentals of how to raise a person, how to treat human beings. So there's a bigger problem here, and it's how we raise kids and how we raise boys in particular. So I come at this conversation from the prevention side of things and feeling like we could prevent mental health issues. We could prevent high ACEs scores, the adverse child experiences, right? That some of you are familiar with that I referenced in my book. We could prevent school shootings. We could prevent intense bullying. We could prevent sexual trauma. We could prevent people from feeling and being so fucking disconnected that they have no problem hurting people. I say this a lot. When you're in your heart and you're connected to yourself and your own body and your own experience, and that gets reflected back to you as you're okay as you are, you don't shoot people. You don't hurt people. You don't fuck people up. You can't. It's like impossible to hurt people when you're in your heart. And how many kids in the world are in their heart? Not many. Watch the magic come out of a child's eyes over many years. It's so clear. Like I watch my kids' classmates, their eyes start to dull. They start to fade. They start to dissociate. because no one's seeing them, who they really are, and the big people don't know how because they were never seen. And then they don't want to learn because they have different values. Their values are about the culture, accomplishing, achieving, or surviving, or whatever the values are. So sadly, it's a privilege to be able to see a child. You need to actually feel safe yourself and have some self-awareness to see a little person, see who they are. So I still feel sad. I still feel shaken up about this. I still feel angry. And it's hard right now. And, I'm human, right? I'm not this invincible guy who's just teaching about relationships. I have days like this. The other day where I just sobbed and I got so mad. And then I felt really alone and helpless and small. And I wrote about that. It's helpful for me to write when I'm in these places. And obviously it's helpful for me and my wife to talk about this stuff. And we had our own little snag about this whole thing, and we had another thing happen that didn't have anything to do with this. And then that feels bad, right? We're like, So I want you to know you're not alone in your concern for the world and your community and little people. And you might be hurting yourself. And guys, I'm trying my best to provide resources for the human race here on how we can do this better. And I continue to need help doing that. And I'm just grateful for all of you people that are becoming coaches and that are out there helping people. And for you people taking some of our courses where you can self-reflect and you're like, oh my God, I see the past and I see how I'm showing up now. And I see that I could actually enter this conversation differently, right? And then when we polarize folks and we make the other side wrong, the other side that we don't agree with, is that really going to get us anywhere? When we take a position, I'm right and you're wrong. Look at history and look at reality. Does that work? I know it's not very fun to listen to someone who has a completely different perspective than you, but that's going to go a lot further than you telling them you're right and they're wrong. I got over 750 comments on these posts that I did. Same post on two different channels, Facebook and Instagram. And 25% were haters who were just couldn't stand me and making me wrong for like being hurt and scared and, talking about my opinion. I don't have it that I'm right, though. I have it that I have an experience and I'm following that and I'm going to see what happens. And you can do whatever the fuck you want. But I'm going to keep chipping away at this mission here to help the world heal and grow around how we treat each other. I'm very clear about that. And how we raise humans, how we raise boys. We got to do a better job here, in my opinion, about how we raise boys. Because when we don't and we turn our backs on boys, we let TV, culture, coaches, the herd mentality train the boy into becoming who they are. It's an invisible machine brainwashing boys on how to treat women, how to treat themselves, how to treat other boys. It's this fucked up invisible boy code, as William Pollock calls it. It's hard to tackle. It's hard to tackle this one. I'm raising a son in the midst of the boy code culture and the patriarchy at large, right? Where the white guys still call the shots and run the show. Look around. Any third grader can figure this out. Look at any picture of every senator that's, since our country's founding, every president, Fortune 500 companies. It's still white guys, folks. Let's just be honest about that, okay? And I'm a white guy, so I got a responsibility here to do it differently, to blaze a different trail that's more heart-centered, more collaborative in nature. Yeah. Anyway, please read my post on Facebook if you haven't already. We'll include it in the show notes. Thanks for being a listener as always. This is a somber one. And, it just matters that we're out there listening, feeling, allowing yourself, like this is what I would leave you with. Allow yourself to be impacted by what's happening in the world. It's a lot. And when it's by allowing yourself to be impacted, you can mobilize and take action. If it doesn't overwhelm you, of course. Yeah, a lot of people don't want to allow themselves to be impacted, right? Because it can get overwhelming, right? But if you can learn how to feel your experience, you can have a big cry or a rage or a tantrum, and then it's a wave. If you're present through the whole thing, it passes. And then you're like more clear and ready to get back on your battle gear and get back out there in your life. Yeah. Okay, I wish you well today on this warrior journey that you're on. Thank you for continuing to stand up. Yo, I know some of you have thought about becoming a relationship coach, and some of you are already therapists, social workers, counselors, and even life coaches, nurses, doctors, acupuncturists, and that means you're some kind of helper. And if you like the content here and you like what I'm taking a stand for in the world, and you think maybe you could contribute in some way, I want you to come to a masterclass I'm doing on how to become a relationship coach. And this is a big one because we're living in a time right now where I hope you are the kind of person that's like, what can I do to help this intense world? And I want you to consider you can become a relationship coach and you can learn the ins and outs for your own personal life. So it impacts you and benefits you personally in your own relationships. And you learn how to help other people through their challenges. Okay. So go to relationshipschool.com/masterclass if you want to join me for this live mini workshop. As you know, I've dedicated my life to helping people with their relationships, right? I want to solve this problem so that all of you can work through your differences and have fulfilling, amazing, badass partnerships and relationships, family, coworkers, friends, whoever. And I have trained a ton of relationship coaches, almost 100 certified relationship coaches, to help you specifically work through your relationship challenges. So I want to invite you to a special deal we're offering to the podcast listener where you can get 50% off your first month of coaching with one of our amazing relationship coaches. Okay, if you're tired of therapy, it feels like that's going around in a circle, or you want to actually set goals and accomplish your relationship goals, hire a relationship coach. Okay, go to relationshipschool.com/get-coaching-now, and then use the coupon code FIRST50 to get the 50% deal off your first month of relationship coaching. Super psyched to have our amazing coaches serve you and help you get to the next level. Hey, thanks so much for listening. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Share one of these videos with a friend. We want to help the planet get their act together around relationships, and you are one of them, so thank you.